Right, now third normal form is where we take what was in second normal form, and then we just basically we look over it again and just make sure that everything's correct, and that the final bullet point says remove attributes that are not dependent upon the primary key. Now I'll talk about that in a minute, but I've brought this from second normal form and I've tidied it up first of all. So any of the names that I've used for second normal form and the attributes, I've made them more friendly in terms of using these names in a program. Okay, so you'll notice that all the attributes are now in camel case. There's no spaces, so it's all lowercase to start with, and then any letters are then put into capital C for code, product code, and so on. I've taken away things like product cost because it's to do with the product description. That's all in the menu entity, so I don't need to have that prefixed with product. Likewise, ordered item, I've just put quantity and I've shortened everything, but it's the same attributes: date of order, taken by, company, order code, and so on. Okay, with a customer, I've got company and then address, postcode, and contact number because they are to do with the customer. So I don't need to put company address or company postcode because those attributes are for the customer. The only other change I've made is that we can't, order is a key word. So where the entity was called order, I've changed it to customer order, and I've just noticed a typo there, so I'll just put customer order. Okay, so that we've got, you can't use order. So when we're writing the program, we're writing SQL, we won't be able to use order as a name of an entity. Okay, that will confuse things. Likewise, there I'll put date of order in there rather than just using date, because date is a key word as well. Okay, so that being said, what we need to do now is we need to look at, for each entity, are all the other attributes, are they just dependent upon the primary key? So menu here has got product code, which is the primary key, and then it's got cost and description. Cost relies entirely on the product code, so it's to do with the product, and the description is also to do with the product. So those two attributes just rely on the primary key. Let's do the same for customer. Again, customer, we've got a company, we've got post address, postcode, contact number, so that's fine. They are only to do with the company, nothing else. Product ordered item, these should just be to do with the item on the order. So the product code points to the item, order code points to the customer order, so they are essential. And then for that product on that order, quantity, so quantity relies entirely upon the product code and on that particular order, so that's fine. Customer order, we've got order code, company, taken by, and date of order. So everything there is to do with that particular order. So we're okay in terms of the entities having attributes which just rely on the keys. Now the other thing we need to think about is everything in here reliant upon that? So here, taken by, for example, that's to do not necessarily with the order, but it's to do with members of staff. So taken by, that attribute really, okay, it's to do with the order, but it's not just entirely, it's not dependent upon the order, it's dependent upon the member of staff. So I think what we should do there is we should create a new table for staff. Okay, sorry, I should do that, shouldn't I? So I'm going to create a new table for staff, and instead of taken by, the primary key, I'm going to use like we've done with everything else, give every member of staff a code. So we've got in our database, we've already looked at, we've got several things that we know about the staff. So obviously we need their name. Okay, let's just use name for the moment, and we need to know what their role is. So somebody might be a sandwich maker, somebody might be a driver, and me as obviously me as obviously the manager. Now we will need, if we're making the database, we will need usernames and passwords for these people. So let's put a username in there and let's add a password. Okay, and I'm just going to tidy that table up, just put things into order. So I'll put the primary key first and name, username, password, that's fine. Okay, so there's my table. Now what I will do then, instead of having taken by here, I'll have staff code. Okay, so now if I use this entity here, I can link that to the staff code with a one-to-many. So now staff code, yes, staff code is to do with that order now, so it's entirely dependent upon that order, but like it's a lookup here. Okay, so I've got the name, so I've actually pulled that out and made it a separate entity, and that's fine, that's good. I think that will work well. The only other thing we need to do is to deal with the problem that we have of addresses for different parts of an order. So at the moment our database doesn't deal with that, so we're going to deal with that in the next video.